understand your desire to not cooperate. It is all very respectable, but may I remind you that this blind devotion will not in any way, shape or form reward you in the afterlife. You'll die horribly here, and your master will not waste a single second mourning you. If you know the information that I am asking for, I can retrieve it either way. This way will be far more horrific for you. Okay, horrific way it is then. You have my sympathies. So we didn't know in the end. Unfortunate choice that your colleague made. Did you sleep well? Nightmares? Of what? Those were nightmares. Those were me. Forgive me. I don't tend to beat around the bush very often, but time is money to my employer, and wasting it is an unforgivable lack of productivity. I'm not hard to entertain or sympathize. I'm not here to convince. I am here to get what my employer paid me to collect. And I know that you WRAITH assassins like to pride yourself on loyalty. But you will be the 10th member that I killed today. And all in the most agonizing of ways. Do you see your colleague over there? Yes. Of course there's not a single wound on him. So how do you think he died? Think about that. You can avoid it. But I know you won't, because of your foolish moral assassin code. So tell me, assassin, you murder people at the drop of your employer's thumb, without question. Why are you considered one of the good guys? You're not. We live in a world where superheroes are currently trending, yet they have not gone after the World Recon and International Terrorism Hindrance Society. That infernal name should warrant a visit from the cringe police at the very least. Instead, we have superheroes flying around, causing uncountable numbers of deaths and casualties in order to kill one or two wrongdoers. While you are left alone to stalk the shadows, murdering those who are simply suspected as potential risks. Most of those who you brand as villains simply want to make some money to feed their families, or to right a wrong that happened to them perhaps. I don't really know. I'm just speculating. It all seems a little hypocritical to me, but it doesn't particularly matter in the end. You see, superheroes never really pose much of a threat to me. I fulfill my duties regardless. What I am doing is no better. Besides the point, madam, we have all chosen sides in this war. Those who stick to the shadows with their weapon mastery and sense of code. Those with inhuman abilities that put themselves above everyone else. Those who you brand evil for simply cracking under relentless pressure, like any normal person would eventually do. And then you have those beings that are truly evil and wish to see the world burn. None of you have even begun to imagine what it is really like to lock eyes with one of those beings. things. I stand on the side of none. I am here to serve my employer. You see, in a world of supernatural and mystical warfare, I am simply an advocate. We are still making good time. Should I waste a little more asking you for the location of the item? 9 of you refused. Forgive me, that was inaccurate. 4 of you refused. The other 5 died before they were given a chance. Part of the plan? Of course. I know how you assassins operate. Split into groups of 5. One team to go for my employer, the other to retrieve the item that was in Convoy. The hired thugs wouldn't be much of a threat to the most dangerous assassins on the planet, and I can only be in one place at a time. So taking out the kill team would have been the first logical thing. I knew the commotion would bring the superheroes scouting the area of New York to me. So allowing the items in transit to be taken was more common sense, and the outcome that would lead to the smallest loss of life. The superheroes were too busy fighting me to see the most crucial event taking place. The item that could eventually tear the reality of this world to shreds, being smuggled underneath their very noses. Of course, I killed them all before they had the chance. Yes, 2 superheroes and 5 assassins at once. The surprised look on your face is undisputed proof that you haven't quite comprehended the power of the man stood before you. If I were to tell you, would it change your mind about resisting me, and thus helping your odds of survival? Of course it wouldn't. Carry on being the defiant little assassin you are. You must all love the idea of being a shriveled up corpse. Let me give you a hint. When I killed your colleagues, their souls did not leave their bodies gracefully. Their souls were ripped from a shell that was rapidly aged into a withered husk within mere moments. A rather unfortunate outcome from having the very life force drained from you. Beg my rudeness, madam. How old are you? I see. Well, with the taste of my own power, your body begins to age. Your organs begin to wither. Your heartbeat fastens and struggles under the crushing pressure of age. Your lungs sting with dry fatigue from decades of breathing the harsh air of this reality. Your bones creak and wither. Your joints grind and crack. Now your body is at least 95 years old. It begs to die. Your soul is like the pearl on the tongue of a mollusk, with its shell already pried open, simply ready to be plucked. This is actually the less painful way. Ripping your soul from your youthful body would have been far more agonizing. This is, of course, just a simple demonstration. Take your life force back. Feeling better? Do you see now? It isn't magic or superpowers. I am something much more primal. These powers that fight for control are nothing to me. I could enact change, you say? Why? Tell me, why should I try to change a world that would happily burn in napalm just to admire the pretty colors? There are untold realities out there, parallel universes, yet they all adhere to the same unchangeable rule: human stupidity. The deities responsible for creating me are equally bound by the rules of the realities we share, but they manage to break one cardinal rule. They conceived what should not have been. Who were these deities? I could tell you. Would you tell me where the item is? No? Then why would I enlighten a dead person? 你想要什么？我很忙。不，他们死了，还有一个。我现在正在和他们说话。他不会告诉我。礼貌地问。告诉老板不要担心，我会找到他的。要有耐心。My apologies. My employer doesn't like to be kept waiting. He should exercise more patience, since I'm the only one who can get things done. I suppose for chivalry's sake, I should give you one final warning. If you know the whereabouts of the item, I will get it from you, but you won't survive the process. It isn't a case of you valiantly surviving my torture and escaping within the clutches of death. You will die either way, and I will pull the information from your broken skull. But I suppose you're too busy mentally preparing yourself to swing that knife in behind your back at me. Go on then, assassin. If it fills you with some false sense of pride that you at least tried. I know you struggled free from your binds before this conversation began. I am not one to deny people a fair chance. So go on. A sneak attack, I presume. Attack from the front, eh? Oh, I am still here. And now here. And now right in front of you. Can't move now, can you? My hands aren't touching you physically. But if you could actually see the claws that I have embedded inside you now, well, I am not so cruel. This is your last chance, assassin, before the real show begins. Okay, so be it then. Sit down. not quite time for you yet. Maybe I started a little early. Afraid you'll have to hang on for just a moment. Speak to me. So that's where it is. I knew there was an 11th assassin. Tricky. Now I know where they ran off to. My employer may be impatient, but I was looking at the bigger picture. A WRAITH headquarters hidden in the middle of New York. Problematic. Don't worry though, madam. Your suffering ends right about now. I will be taking your soul now. Thank you to the cult of Scythe. Your support is most appreciated.